Macmillan! Get down here! This has got to stop!
Madam, please!
No!
I'll be right with you.
I know you're up there!
Oh, marvelous. There she is. Just what I need. The crazy wood nymph. Can't a man take a bath in peace?
What the hell is that?
It's a panther.
You savage!
And a nice clean one now, too. This is going above the mayor's bed. Okay, Mrs. Hobbs will be by to handle the taxidermy.
Oh, travel safe, my friend.
Wait, who are you? Where's Cecil?
Glenn, I'm a friend of his. Cecil had to take a few days off.
Mm-hmm.
For stress.
Is there any animal that you have not slaughtered?
Oh, you flatter me, Miss
Sorry,
Davenport.
I really will be right with you.
The answer's no, but I'm retired, as you know, and have been for some time.
Yes, and how many have you out there killing for you now?
Not nearly enough, I'm afraid. Business is booming. What about you there? You a hunter? Gus Macmillan, master craftsman of fine clothing and accessories. Here's my card. I pay top dollar for animal furs and parts. The rarer, the better.
Don't listen to him. Unbelievable. How do you sleep at night?
On the tiger bedspread, my dear. Seriously, come see me.
You're no better than a murderer. And one day, you'll be seen as such.
Whoa, whoa. Would you mind taking us outside? I don't want any
Shut
trouble.
up, Glenn!
Listen, soon as a squirrel finds a cure for tuberculosis, let's talk.
If intelligence is the barometer of who has the right to live or die, you should have been court-martialed at birth!
Annoying, isn't she? See him? The only thing he had on his mind was hunger, sweetheart, but I pulled the trigger. Survival of the fittest. Isn't that your mentor's trite catchphrase?
It's not survival of the fittest. You are killing to line your own pockets.
This is how I make my living. We don't all have a rich daddy. While you're camped out in the woods, making witches' brews and talking to the wildlife, the rest of us are doing some real work.
You think this is some big joke?
Oh,
That's
what
enough!
the hell is that crazy shrew? They should throw you in an asylum.
Oh, that's it! I quit! You can tell the mayor I've gone home.
Oh, sorry about that awful man. Harriet Davenport. I've been in the field now for 3 years, studying the hidden interconnections between animals of all species. I've seen everything. Joy, disgust, regrets, envy. We're so much more alike than we are different. I'm on the brink of discovering the pathways that link all life. I just need more research material. I have in here detailed notes on pretty much every animal from armadillo to Annisburg, including the locations of some truly impressive varieties. I would be willing to sell this to you if you will commit to bringing me anatomical samples from live species and promise not to carry out any more animal side in pursuit of Gus Macmillan's greed. I'll pay you, of course. I promise I'm good for the money. Let's learn from nature, not destroy it. Excellent. Oh, we've been brought together for a reason. I strongly feel that. I've been experimenting with tonics that can provide access to remarkable new pathways of communication with other species. You have to live as they do, eat as they eat, hop as the toad, dig as the mole, love as the badger. If you see what I've seen, you just have to open your mind. Join me on a voyage of discovery. You know, this connection between us, it's developed into something quite powerful, don't you think? The majority of people go through life believing they see everything, when in fact, they see almost nothing, confined by the limits of their own consciousness. Just imagine if you could scurry as a possum, hop as a rabbit. Well, I've discovered an herb, scarlet and amethyst flowers. Harrietum officinalis is what I've named it. If you can make contact with a vestige of the animal while ingesting the herb and truly opening your mind to its vital forces, you will be transported in ways you can't even begin to fathom. Trust me, this will open your eyes. Be free. I wouldn't share this information with anyone but you. Well, I sincerely hope you have stayed well away from that Neanderthal, Gus Macmillan. Can you imagine if he took such delight in murdering his fellow men and displaying their severed heads on the wall? He'd be straight to the noose. Anyhow, I've heard rumors of a magnificent bear that's been seen around these parts. You'll know it when you see it. A fox told me. If you could track it down and get me a sample, I'd love to study the physiology in more detail. Just please be gentle with it. Well, the murderers are out in force again. There have been rumors in Van Horn about some men coming in to hunt a rare beaver that Gus Macmillan has put up a bounty for. Another pelt he'll probably just turn into a pair of gloves and sell for an obscene amount of money. Ugh! That man's greed! But anyway, it does sound like a spectacular creature. A night beaver, beautiful, jet black, a perfect specimen for my studies. Apparently, these men will be arriving by train into Annisburg. Maybe if you follow them, you can get to this poor beaver before they do. Finally, someone not here to mock me, I hope. The arrogance of people, the blind refusal to entertain the idea that there is something outside our meager understanding, that maybe, just maybe, our minds exist beyond us in a shared consciousness. Oh, it's just frustrating. Anyhow, apparently there's a herd of bison led by a striking red peta roaming the Little Creek Valley, which sounds like a perfect specimen to round out my bison studies. I hear there are some good vantage points over the valley, and look for signs of tree rubbing. They love to scratch. There was a young pig from Racine whose botanical interests were keen. He planted a sock in a bright window box where it blossomed and sprouted a bean. Yes! Oh, I don't know why that came into my head. Oh, yes, I do. The boar. I almost forgot. A beautiful black and white Icha-hee piebald that's been spotted in the vicinity of McFarland's Ranch and Thieves' Landing, which has attracted the interests of local hunters. I was thinking perhaps you could try to beat them to it. I'd love a sample. I hear Macmillan's murder-for-hire business continues to grow. I should pay someone to kill him. I'm joking, of course. I would never sink to his level. It's just the greed and arrogance of that man. These are sentient beings with complex emotions. Oh, such a struggle sometimes. But I was hoping you'd come by. A man was telling me he was in Annisburg recently and overheard some loggers there talking about a very unusual-looking deer. Sounds like maybe a shadow buck. Worth some further investigation, at least. Together, I know we can do this. We can't give up. I shouldn't generalize, but the vole is really a rather fickle creature, don't you find? Best friend one day, a stranger the next. I mean, I see it as a sign of intelligence more than anything else. No? Anyway, a conversation for another day. I just heard some livestock in New Austin were wiped out by a vicious predator that sounds to me like it could be a rare Sapa cougar. Do you think you could go and check it out for me? If we keep working together like this, we will have a breakthrough. I know it. You know, I seem to spend half my time out here trying to apologize to my brothers and sisters for the sins of my species. What gives us the right to destroy life on a whim with complete impunity? And where will it end? 50, 100 years from now? Ever? Well, there have been reports of a coyote leading its pack on a rampage through the town of Blackwater. Revenge? Who can say? But it sounds as unique as it is ferocious, white with blue eyes. Do you think you could track it and get me a sample? Before it's another head on someone's wall? Sorry if I'm a little flustered. I just received a letter from my sister saying that I'm an embarrassment to the Davenport name, that I should be getting married and starting a family. She's the embarrassment, not me. I'm on a voyage of discovery. Anyway, talking of which, some travelers were telling me about an elk that's become quite legendary by all accounts, unique in appearance and size. If you could track it down and source me a sample, it sounds like a very interesting animal to study. Just please, treat it with kindness. Have you ever sang to a fox? Sang while you looked deep into its eyes? It's quite beautiful. It's like an invisible barrier melts away, and in that moment there is trust. Complete trust. Anyway, I've been hearing stories about a fox that's been spotted in Saint Denis and Rhodes with very unusual coloring. Something of a local legend. Only comes out at night and in thick fog, apparently. Sounds very intelligent. I'd quite like to study it. If you think you might be able to track it down? I wouldn't sing to this one, though. Well, you won't believe what I've just been reading in the newspaper. Apparently, the new accessory du jour for the lady this year is the alligator handbag. Murdering these noble, prehistoric creatures for fashion? Would they wear one made of human skin? I highly doubt it. Ugh. Anyway, there have been some sightings of a spectacular crocodilian near an estate in Saint Denis. A banded gator, beautiful red and white markings, by all accounts. If you could source me a sample, I'd very much like to study it before some brute turns it into a wallet or pair of slippers. So, I ran into Gus Macmillan again. How that man delights in tormenting me. Now he has his sights on a new trophy, a rare moose he wants to slaughter and turn into slippers or belts or whatever it is he does to make his blood money. Oh, he makes me sick. Ugh! Anyway, this moose is apparently a spectacular specimen, cream with red antlers. I was hoping maybe you could try to get to it before Macmillan's hunters do and gather some information for me. We should be learning from these animals, not destroying them. Have you been hearing about this ram in New Austin? Apparently, all number of people are out trying to track it and kill the poor thing, just because it showed some aggression. It's probably just defending itself. And what is more aggressive than a man with a gun? Anyway, It sounds like a truly spectacular animal, a rutiel horn, jet black, impressive size, and very intelligent. Rumor is it's been luring ovines away from other herds, which is very unusual. It was spotted passing north of Venter's place. I'd love to study it, if you can get me a sample. Tell you, if you've never tried touching fresh dung when it's still warm, the reverberations you feel, it's like a beating heart. And even more so when it's an animal I know. Every day, I'm discovering new connections, but I need more research material. There have been reports of an unusually aggressive wolf pack up in the Grizzlies, led by a large white moonstone, an animal I'd very much like to study. I know it's a lot to ask, but we are making discoveries that will live on forever. I truly believe that. I was starting to worry that Gus Macmillan might have lured you into his vile profiteering. A man whom I recently heard once slaughtered 20 elephants in Africa just because he lost a drunken bet. One day, this will all come back to him. So, I've been hearing about a panther that no doubt he's got his eyes on too. A majestic creature. If the reports are to be believed, I'd be interested to do some genetic analysis on such a distinctive example. If you could track it down and get me a sample, I will pay you for your efforts, of course. Mark me! I've heard what you've been doing. They tell me, you know? Oh, disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourself.